Jeff Gerwich here with Modern Tactical Shooting. Now in this video, I'll be sharing with you a downloadable zero target that works for AR or AK with red dots. So let's go. All right, you need to zero your AR or AK red dot, and that's what specifically this target is made for. This is a 25-yard 200 AR target with a red dot, and it also can be used as a 25-yard 100 zero target for your AK, and I'll get into that, how to use it right now. All right, so the way this target works is you set it up at 25 yards, and whether you have an AK or an AR with a red dot, the actions are the same. You're going to place your red dot on the black square, so aim at the black square, and you're going to dial your rounds in so that they impact the circle just below the black square, and that is going to give you the appropriate hold off, whether it's 5.56 or 7.62. So again, if you set this up at 25 yards, aim black square, dial it into the circle with a 5.56 AR, or it could be 5.56 and AK. It's going to give you a 200-yard point of aim, point of impact. If you're using 7.62 by 39, aim at the black square, dial it in so the rounds touch the white circle, and it's going to give you a 100-yard point of aim, point of impact. Now, I know some will say, well, what about different bullet weights? You know, you have 55 grain and 5.56, 77 grain. Obviously, there's some slight variation. Plus, depending on the quality of the ammo and your barrel, you know, you could have a 1 to 3 minute of angle shift depending on what ammo you use. Granted, this is not a 100% solution because at 25 yards, it doesn't account for, you know, the cone of deviation going all the way out to your intended range. But this is a 90% solution. I always suggest that if you're going to use this target, you can go ahead and confirm at your distances. So with an AK, confirm on 100, and dial in that finite adjustments to get you right on at 100. Or, for an AR, shoot this at 25 and then confirm at 200. But if you do not have the availability or the range space to do that, and that's why I made up this target, this is a 90% solution. I can take my AR, use this as a zero target at 25 yards, and I have no problem hitting 8-inch plates at 200 yards. It's going to get you close enough. And again, I always emphasize if you can, confirm at distance, but this is an excellent starting point, and I prefer this style of target over your classic style, even if you're using some sort of template or overlay that gives you the correct hold off, and I'll get into that right now. So the reason why I do not like the classic, M16, M4, M16A2 zero target is the aiming point of this, silhouette, or it's a black E-type silhouette, is actually too large for 25 yards and with a red dot. Your modern red dots are between 1 and 2 MOA now, and it's more accurate than your eye. So you need a small aiming point. Otherwise, at 25 yards, your red dot, is it settled exactly in the center? Is it settled just off center? There's 2 inches of variation up and down within this black where, 25 yards, it might look like it's center, but it can actually be off. If you use this target, it's only a 1-inch square. So if your red dot is perfectly zeroed on it, there'll just be barely an outline of this black silhouette around your red dot, and it'll give you the exact same point of aim every time. And of course, with the same point of aim, it equals a tighter shot group, and that should speed up the zeroing process and, more importantly, save you ammo. So there you have it. This is the AR AK zero target. Again, you set it up at 25 yards. It's going to give you a 200-yard point of aim, point of impact with an AR with your, standard 1/3 co-witness, red dot mount. And it's going to give you a 25-yard zero, 100-yard point of aim, point of impact with an AK and a red dot. And the red dots, what I'm really talking about, what this is designed for, is your low mount red dots, the ones that replace the rear sight on your AK, or those low mount red dots like your Aimpoint T1s, your primary arm micro dots that sit on the gas tube. Now, if you're running an optics rail, a side mount optics rail, and say you have a standard 1/3 co-witness, red dot sitting up on top of that, that is a lot of hold off, and this target's not gonna give you that precise 100-yard point of aim, point of impact. It's just too much height above bore, but it's a good starting point, and then I highly encourage you to, get that finite zeroing at 100. So this is really set up for AKs with low red dot mounts like the Achero Arms Bravo mount, which I have on all my AKs. All right, so you can find this target downloadable on my Modern Tactical Shooting Facebook page. If you go into the photos, this is saved as a JPEG. Now, when you go to print it out, make sure you print it out horizontally so it comes out in the right aspect ratio. It can come out in landscape. In that case, it'll be kind of compressed. I don't think it's going to line up right, but it is free to download. Print as many as you want and go out and zero up your guns. All right, so there you have it. Here's your free 25-yard AK or AR red dot zero target. Again, it's at Modern Tactical Shooting Facebook. Go to my photos, look up MTS AR/AK Zero Target. Again, remember to print it out horizontally. I'll provide a link down in the description so you can, download this, hit the range, and zero up your guns. As always, I'm Jeff Gurwitch, and thanks for watching.